your feet. Feet are gross. Y'all means all. Somebody call Lightning McQueen. They're moving too fast. Like being left on a stranded island and your significant other is flying away in the helicopter that would have saved you with another person. Hey everybody, I'm back. I know this is like really fast because usually I'm horrible at actually posting anything ever, but like I feel like determined. Like I'm like, I don't know what the word is. Motivated. That's the word I'm looking for. But anyway, welcome back to my channel. So recently I've been listening to like literally just like putting them on in the background, all those videos but that are like reading like the Reddit like am I the posterior crack, which is what I'll be calling it because I don't want to curse. Am I the posterior? Blah 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 blah. Been reading listening to all of those. They're so entertaining, and I just wanted to do one for myself for my 130 subscribers. But we don't talk about that, okay? So welcome, and we're just gonna get right into it. So I did create a tier list that will pop up on screen, hopefully. Sorry, I'm like ill.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Best to worst. So NTP, not the posterior, and it's insane you're asking, but like in a good way. Not the posterior, but you're totally valid for asking, like really valid for asking. I'm getting tetanus because I'm on the fence.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
I know. You guys can throw your bouquets of roses. I know. Posterior, but I can see what you're getting at. And posterior, and it's insane you're asking, but that's derogatory. So let's get into it. I've compiled 8 am I the posterior like little blurbs, and yeah, we're just gonna read through these and rank them. And yeah, I've only read the headers of these, like I haven't even proofread these, so if these like are weird, you've been warned. So let's start with this one. Am I the posterior for telling my wife's friend I don't have to see her in the classroom to know she's a horrible teacher? And this one's like really long. Okay. My wife's friend was supposed to come watch fireworks with us tonight, but she just texted my wife that she isn't coming because I'm a nasty person who encourages my child to be rude and disrespectful. My wife and I just had a small argument about the situation that ended with her pulling a big Lebowski. I don't know what that is. Am I like, I feel like, you know, the little baby? I feel so young. I feel like I should know that. Okay, so AI overview says to pull a big Lebowski refers to adopting a laid-back, dude-like attitude, often characterized by navigating life's chaotic, high-stakes situations with extreme apathy. Okay, anyway, so my wife and I just had a small argument about the situation that ended with her pulling a big Lebowski on me and saying that I didn't have to be wrong to be a posterior. That's true, but I think her friend is the posterior, not me. I'll tell you what happened and you decide for us. Thank you for all that backstory. Okay, like I'll actually get to the point. My wife's friend was at our house for dinner. She's a teacher and she complains about it a lot. She says that the parents are impossible to deal with, the administration is not supportive, everyone has an opinion on curriculum, and the kids don't listen. I mean, she's not wrong. I include these complaints for context for the discussion. She told my wife that she was working on her lesson plan for February and Black History Month, and she was making a fact sheet about Martin Luther King Jr. for kids. Our son, who is a huge Star Trek fan, said that we should include the fact that Martin Luther King Jr. was a Star Trek fan. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. My wife's friend, with a very patronizing tone and expression, might I add, said that maybe he would have been if he'd still been alive when it aired. My son said that he was, and he used to watch it with his daughters. My wife's friend said that he died before the show aired. I told her that she was wrong and the son was right. She said that I was a perfect example of a parent that can't acknowledge when her child was wrong. I said, no, you're a perfect example of a teacher that assumes she knows everything and can't connect with her students because she doesn't respect them. Ooh, clocked. My wife forced us to all change the topic. After dessert, I pulled up a video on YouTube where Nichelle Nichols was discussing talking to MLKJ about Star Trek. I showed it to everyone. My wife's friend asked why I couldn't let the topic lie. I said I didn't want my son to feel like he was wrong for sharing facts that he knows about his interests. My wife's friend said that I don't know what it's like to be a teacher. I said I don't, but I know she's a bad one. Whew, okay. She said that I'd never seen her in the classroom. I said that I didn't need to because I've seen how she is in her daily life and people are who they are regardless of where they are. So my wife's argument is that I'm a posterior for bringing the topic back up after it was settled. She said that I could have played the video for our son after our friend left and taught him about giving others grace and not needing external validation. I disagree and I think it's important our kids knows we will always stand up for him. So am I the posterior? Wow, okay. This is a good one. This is actually gonna make me think. I thought it was gonna be immediately posterior because that header is horrible. Why would you want people to think you're the posterior? Yeah, honestly, I'm a really petty person. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have just to see the look on her face. Oh, you guys. But I understand what the wife is talking about. Yes, because the friend was also patronizing about it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's not the posterior, but I understand where the wife is coming from. Just because, yeah, he could have let the topic lie, but also, yes, I agree with the dad that it's important to show their son that their parents will always stand up for him. I think that's really important as well. Oh, yeah, I think actually I'm going to say the posterior, but 60-40. I can understand, I can see what he's getting at. That's the final tier because, yeah, I'm so petty. I would have done the same thing, but I don't think it was fully necessary to, kind of embarrass the friend like that and say that she's a horrible teacher and can't connect with her students because she doesn't respect them. While she showed that to her son, it doesn't necessarily, because environment plays a huge role. I think that's where the dad was wrong in this. Environment can play a huge role on how you act in front of different people. So that's my take. But let's go to the next one. Okay, this next one, I was like, oh my god. Again, insane header. Why are you guys putting these headers? Okay. Am I the posterior for not deleting pictures on my social media that my son's girlfriend asked me to delete? Whew. Okay. My son, 20, is in the military. He has a girlfriend who he met on TikTok a few months ago. They met up in person for the first time over Christmas. He flew out to see her. Aw, that's sweet. I have been supportive of this. He recently called me and his father and said they wanted to get married soon. A few months ago, and they want to get married soon. That's insane. I guess when you know, but that's wow. Somebody call Lightning McQueen. They're moving too fast. Anyway, also asked that we not tell extended family or they would not allow us at the ceremony. Yikes. There is a lot more to this, but the matter at hand. My son called us this past week and said his girlfriend is uncomfortable with the pictures I have on my social media of him and a few of his exes. He asked if I would remove them. I said no. Oh, his dad was with me during this call. We were in the car, and he basically told my son, it's your mother's social media, and she's not going to be doing that. She must have been on the phone listening because she messaged me privately via text. It was a long text, but in it she said, I just wanted to reach out respectfully and share something that's been on my mind. I noticed some posts on your Instagram that includes son's name, past relationships, and I'll be honest, it made me feel a little uncomfortable. I completely understand not wanting to erase memories or your experiences as a mom, and I'm not trying to take that away from you at all. I'm so sorry. I swear I can read and I swear I know the English language. She didn't say that. I just hope you can also understand where I'm coming from as a person he's building his future with. I replied back and said, thank you for sharing how this makes you feel. I want to be honest with you as well. Your request makes me uncomfortable. This is my social media account, not his, and we don't know each other well enough for a request like that to feel appropriate. Because of that, I'm not willing to make changes to my personal accounts. I also think it's important to respect personal boundaries, especially at this stage. I'm happy to continue getting to know you in a natural way, but I need to be clear about what I'm comfortable with. That said, yes, the photos will remain on my account. I'm hoping you can understand where I'm coming from. I will say all were posted at the time when he was in those relationships. Nothing since they have been together. I even have a picture from when they met up on there. My son has not spoken to me since. I'm not sure if I was right in this, and while I don't want him to marry so young or to someone he barely knows, I can't stop him. And if she does end up being my daughter-in-law, I'd never want to have a bad relationship with her. But I just cannot get past asking me to delete things she really has no business asking me to. My son has a past, and he's not with those people for a reason, obviously. Am I the posterior for refusing to remove them? Well, girl. Okay. See, this would be different if he was still her girlfriend, like his girlfriend. If he was still his girlfriend. Wait, that doesn't make sense. If she was still, guys, I swear. If she was still his girlfriend, there we go. And not who I assume is fiance, because if they were getting married soon, I assume he proposed. Like, we're just gonna go off that. Okay. I see what the mother-in-law is getting at. I'm so sorry, my nose is running like crazy. I see what the mother-in-law is getting at about how they don't really know each other that well, and that request makes her uncomfortable. But, like, it's this man. Like, she's about to marry your son, and your son's exes are still on your social media. Like, I don't even know if it's courtesy more to the girlfriend than it is to the son to, like, remove them, because that's insane. Like, they're about to get married. They're about to become, like, life partners, and you still have his previous partners up on there. I do think she's the posterior. I don't think it's crazy she's asking, but she's definitely the posterior here. I just, obviously I'm speaking from my experience, which I don't have much, but me personally, if I were in her place, I'm one to have people, I'm so sorry, kind of people-pleasing tendencies. So I feel like I would remove them just to keep the peace. But also, yeah, like, you don't want to make your soon-to-be wife uncomfortable. You said she has no business asking you to, but she does. Even if you guys don't know each other that well, she's still connected to you in a very deep way because she's marrying your son. Do I think that's the best move? No, they just met. All of these posts are, like, really recent, like in the past week or a couple weeks. I agree with the girlfriend on this one. I think you are the posterior, and it's not 60. I wish I'd made another tier, because I don't think it's insane that you're asking. It's a little insane, but it's not like, oh my god, you're insane. Like, I cannot believe you even think that you're not in the wrong here. But wow, we're getting there. It's 70-30. Maybe I'm too much of a people pleaser for this, but I feel like it wasn't difficult to maybe just, like, kind of keep the peace necessarily, or just, like, at least, because I feel like you're not understanding where she's coming from. You say, like, thank you for sharing how that makes you feel, but I feel like she was very understanding of how you potentially would feel, and I feel like you weren't as understanding, and so I think I would work towards that. But yeah, you are the posterior, I think. Okay, next one. I thought this header was it's not funny, it's just so absurd. I started laughing. Am I the posterior for having him on the table near my Muslim brother? I just found out about this yesterday. We had planned a Thanksgiving meal and invited family, including my brother, who is Muslim, to join us. Our table comfortably. Whoa. Seats 6, and we had 7 people. I'm not gonna do it. Plus food, so it was crowded. I knew my brother did not do pork, and after dishing up, the ham ended on the table in front of my brother. Nobody really noticed this during conversation, and this offended my brother, having the serving dish right in front of him for most of the meal. But he said nothing at the time, or we would have moved it. So Christmas rolls around, and we invite him over for Christmas, and it was crickets from him. I was pretty weak during 6 rounds of chemo. Oh my god. Wait, I'm so sorry. I hope your recovery's going well, or gone well if it's already happened. I don't know why you'd see this video, I don't know who you are, but genuinely, like, I know everybody says this, but you are insanely strong, and I hope you are doing well. Anyway, so we chose a Costco lasagna for an easy main dish and let him know it had pork. Yesterday, he sent me the message explaining why he ghosted us and that he'd been offended at Thanksgiving. So am I the a-hole for not being more sensitive to his diet? Edit for clarity, some people seem to think that there was nothing else to eat but potatoes and veggie side dishes. This is not the case, and my family has never been accused of not having enough food on the table. The opposite is true. We always have way more than we need. If nothing else, you can make a sandwich from the meat and cheese trays, and there are always lots of hearty side dishes. If you're going hungry, it's not from lack of food. I don't think she's the posterior here at all. Okay, no, I don't think she is. On a crowded table, like, if the ham ends up in front of you and you are uncomfortable, say something. Now, if they had, like, steamrolled over you and been like, oh, it's fine, like, don't worry about it, like, it's not that deep, that would have been an issue. But this isn't an issue at all. I don't think anyone's the a-hole here. Am I the posterior crack, which is what I'll be calling it, because I don't want to curse. The posterior. I meant the posterior. I don't think anyone's the posterior here. I understand why he's uncomfortable because of his religion and stuff, but if he was so uncomfortable to where he ghosted them about Christmas dinner, he should have said something. Like, they're your family. This is not some stranger's house that you're trying to be, like, this makes me mad that you're not speaking up because you're uncomfortable. Because then what did you think was going to happen? In conversation on a crowded table, you can't expect people to be noticing and catering to you. I think you're not the posterior, and it's insane you're asking. This is not your fault. Offered to house my mom during snowstorm, and she invited neighbors without asking me. Hello, I'm curious if I'm the posterior here. I, 31, live in the portion of the United States where lots of snow and ice took down power lines and trees this past weekend. I'm fortunate enough to still have power for myself, my husband, and our baby. Aw. I live in a very small house, but offered up my house to my mom, 56, and her dog, who have no power or heat, etc. right now. Oh my god. On top of all this, I've been dealing with a life-threatening illness. Oh my god. What? Wow, everybody's been going through it. I'm so sorry. I hope, this happened, I think this one was the most recent one. It was 22 hours ago. But I hope things can get better for you, genuinely. I really, really, really do hope that you will do better. There is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. Anyway. And so I've been dealing with a life-threatening illness, and I do not have energy to take care of myself or even my little daughter. And my husband has been pulling a lot of weight through this. Oh, yes. Dude, I hear way too many stories about the man. Have you seen that one video of the guy who asked his pregnant wife, his newly given birth wife? 4 days later, he asked her to make a roast, and he couldn't do it,
Pardon? You want me to do a roast? Can I just remember something? I gave birth 2 days ago.
Do it, insane. So I'm glad that he's doing something. Bare minimum. Yay! The first day my mom was without power, I called and offered to drive 30 minutes, pick her up, and bring her and her dog back to the house. She declined as she was worried to leave her neighbor, also 57, who she had just met the night before, and that she'd tough it out. As soon as the sun goes down, suddenly my mom is begging to come over to my house, but I told her it was too late and we would not be driving on ice after dark. The next morning, I call an offer again, and she agrees to come stay with me. As I'm trying to get out of our icy neighborhood, she calls and lets me know that she wants to bring her neighbors she just met at the neighbor's dog. I said absolutely not. I'm not trying to be rude, but I cannot take in a stranger and their dog while are already struggling to care for my family. Furthermore, I do not want a strange person or strange dog around my child. I suggested her neighbor call a friend or check for warming centers, and that if the circumstances were different, then I would help. She continues to say that I'm a heartless, immoral, cruel person, and that she cannot believe she raised me this way. I told her that was fine and I would stop offering to come get her. She continued to be nasty until her neighbor left to go to a friend's house, and once my mom was alone, she started begging me to come get her again. Am I the posterior? This is crazy. Like, the entitlement. I would be a little weirded out if you were, like, perfectly fine and you just, like, didn't want to take her in. But if you were struggling to take care of even yourself, and your husband is basically taking care of you and your baby, it is insane that your mom wants to bring another person and a dog in a house with a small child. I think it's it doesn't say a large dog, but even that, you never know with dogs. I love my dog, I have a dog, but like even then, a life-threatening illness, you don't have energy to expend taking care of other people, and it's insane that your mom wants you to. And the switch up is so funny. Like, I'm so sorry, where like it's at first she's calling you like all these names. She's like, but like, can you come get me? Like, can you come get me? Like, please. No. You had the audacity to call me like that. I'm not going to treat you nicely because you're not treating me nicely. You don't deserve that respect. But yeah, I don't think you're the a-hole here, and I think it's crazy you're asking because your mom is the posterior here. I don't think the neighbor is the posterior here. I don't think your mom is like posterior because he seems like a caring person, and she is just trying to care for other people, but she should also be caring for her daughter, who is literally like has a life-threatening illness. Like, insane. Am I the posterior for asking my dad to delete a picture of my feet off his phone? This is the world we live in. Like, I think we're all gonna die alone. My dad frequently makes fun of... okay. My dad frequently makes fun of my feet, which is starting to make me feel self-conscious about them, and so I keep telling him to stop. Today, he showed me a picture he'd taken of my feet without my knowledge and was yet again making fun of them. I told him to stop and to delete the picture of my feet off his phone. He ignored me and continued to watch TV, so I kept on asking him to give me his phone so I could delete the picture, but he got annoyed as I was distracting him from watching TV. He said I was making a big thing out of nothing. I'm not sure what to do as he won't listen. Am I the posterior for not being annoyed about this? Okay, this is insane that you're even thinking that you could even be the posterior in this case. Your dad is horrible. Making fun of you, making you self-conscious, and then not it's a picture. But yeah, this is insane. This is insane. Some people's parents, I'm so grateful to have I have really amazing, kind, loving parents. Some people don't. Some people have jerks for parents, obviously. This is crazy that you even have to like think that you are the posterior and that he won't delete a picture of your feet. That's weird. That is so weird. It's your feet. It's your feet. Feet are gross, in my opinion. I don't want you to feel like you should not have to feel self-conscious about your feet. And that insecurity should not have been created by your family member who is supposed to support and love you. Gross. I am so sorry that he's being weird, and if I were you, I would steal his phone and delete it. I don't care. That's gross. He does not need a picture of your feet at all. Let's see. I am not crazy about like relationship stuff. I don't know. I love listening to it. I love all the drama, but I'm not super experienced. So if I say something really stupid, don't come at me. Am I the posterior for siding with my mom instead of my wife? My wife and I have a son who's about to turn 5. My parents, mostly my mom, have been providing us with free childcare since he was a few months old. My mom follows all our requests, no screens, no added sweeteners, and gives our son a level of care no money could buy. And we couldn't even afford like the inferior level anyway. Our son loves my parents. He loves my wife's parents too, but he sees them way less. And he's always happy when I drop him off and when my wife picks him up. I have an older brother that has issues, and my parents have bailed him out several times in the past. A few years ago, he totaled the car that they bought him, and they said they were done helping. It turns out that they have been paying his rent for the last 2 years. My wife made a comment about how the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and what does that mean? About how the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Oh, no. It's clogging me now. And how no one will ever wonder who their favorite is. Yikes. My mom was mad and said she spends 40 plus hours a week on us, and she can do whatever she wants with her money, whether that be paying her son's rent, peeing on it, or setting it on fire. It was definitely an extreme response. Yeah, low key. My wife demanded an apology and said she didn't deserve to be spoken to like that. My mom apologized for being vulgar, but said the sentiment stands and that she wants my wife to be quiet about her financial decisions. They went back and forth until my dad made my mom go upstairs. My wife seethed the whole way home. My wife wants to stop relying on my mom for childcare. She said that her mom can do some babysitting and we can find a daycare until school starts in the fall. She said she couldn't trust her son with someone emotionally volatile. I told my wife that she was the instigator, why she couldn't just ignore information about my brother. I said our son loves his grandparents, and yanking them away from him right before he transitions to kindergarten might traumatize him. I also reminded her that we can't afford daycare. My wife says I'm unsupportive and siding with my family against her. I'm not trying to be unsupportive, just trying to give honest feedback. Should I just have said she was right, even though I don't think she is? This is a thinker. I'm thinking. I think I need to know more information here. Because your wife did say squeaky wheel gets the grease and no one ever, yeah, I do see what she's getting at, honestly. But if your brother has issues, a mom's natural instinct is to gonna want help their child out, and it's technically not your wife's business how she chooses to do that. However, your mom was definitely very extreme with her response. I feel like there's more history here, that there's a deeper issue that you guys need to discuss. But I don't agree with the first thing that you said. I do agree kind of, but I don't think I would have said, I would have thought that. I told my wife that I'm reading it back. I told my wife that she was the instigator and asked why she couldn't just ignore information about my brother. But I understand if she is worried about her son being in an environment, I don't know. I can feel the rust in my bones. I'm getting tetanus because, this one's hard. I see very, clear points on either side. But in the end, I don't think I would side with either, but I guess this is siding with the mom. I would continue going to her house for daycare, because if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Come on. Even if, my parents can do some babysitting, if your son barely sees his grandparents, I'm going to, clock that, they live pretty far away, so that really doesn't make sense. And if she can't afford, if you guys can't afford it, you guys can't afford it. That's bottom line. Come on. So I do think you guys would still have to keep going to her to provide daycare, but otherwise, low-key, I see what she's getting at. So I'm on the fence. I'm getting tetanus. Okay, this one has some triggering topics. So if you're triggered easily by topics of people unaliving themselves, you have been warned. You can skip ahead. I will put chapters in this video, and there's one more story after this, because you'll see that in the video. I'm so sorry, guys. I know I keep rambling. I'm hoping this one is as entertaining as my last video, because that story about the plane lady, that is my one good story. I have a very boring, normal life, and I'm so grateful for that. but like literally nothing happened. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'm interested to read this one. I'm not excited, but I am interested. Am I the posterior for telling my brother that it's his fault his wife unalived herself, and that I don't blame his kids for hating him? Wow, what a header. Okay. I'm 23, female, and my older brother, Brandon, name drop, is 33, male. Him and his wife had 3 kids, 13 female, 12 male, 10 male. My brother's an active duty Marine, and him and his wife had been married for almost 15 years. They got married at 18? Goddamn. My brother went on a deployment last year and cheated on my sister-in-law with a female Marine. You're not in the wrong. He cheated. You're not in the wrong. He cheated. Okay, maybe it gets better. I probably shouldn't like jump the gun. Pun not intended. Cheated on his sister, my brother went on a deployment last year and cheated on my sister-in-law with a female Marine. Per him, he hadn't been in love with my sister-in-law for years, but he was trying to stick it out so he didn't lose custody of their kids. But he met his girlfriend on deployment, fell in love or whatever, and got back. And when he got back, he told his wife Jenny that he wanted a divorce and had cheated on her. After not seeing your spouse, like, imagine, you, which be a miracle if this happened. I'm joking, I love you. Your significant other, your supposed love of your life, the person that you chose to spend the rest of your life with, at 18, by the way, comes home after not being there for what I assume is about a year. He did say it was a year. Went on deployment last year. So probably I think a few months to a year. You are not seeing them. You have to take care of 3 kids by yourself with virtually no support because he's like out of the country, or she. Y'all means all. I genuinely mean that. I love saying that. It's so funny. But like, I genuinely mean that. I'm so sorry. I swear I know how to stay on track. But, he comes back, or she, or they, whatever. Your SO comes back, sits you down. They walk in the door. You give them a hug. You're like, oh my God, you're back. I hope this isn't what happened, but this is what it's reading like. They sit you down, and they're like, hey, I cheated on you and I want a divorce. Oh, you guys, I want to make this person's life a living nightmare. It's about to be horrible for them. It's about to be literally like, man-eater, you'll wish you never ever met me at all, because I'm about to like make your life horrendous. I'm about to ruin every single thing you've ever had. Anyway, I haven't even finished the story yet. Jenny was pretty distraught and felt like she didn't know what to do. She gave up her career to raise her kids. Oh my God. That is my worst nightmare. Like, giving up my career to marry someone that's supposed to love of my life, then leaving me, then what do I do? Like, you're stuck. You have no work experience. There's no way, like, there's way for you to get some, but you'll be broke. You will lose all that comfort, all because you trusted a person who didn't love you. Genuinely, one of my worst nightmares. Scares me so bad. She gave up her career to raise his kids, and they moved all around the country constantly, so she had no stability. She ended up telling the kids she loved. Oh my God. This is going to be very difficult for me to read. I'm a very easily emotional person. And while I am so grateful that no one in my life that I'm close related to has ever attempted or been successful, either, genuinely, I know everybody says this, I will link this in the description. If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental illness and has considered unaliving themselves, please call 988 suicide hotline. Please get help. There is too much good in the world for you to not be in it. Anyway, let me finish. I don't know why I'm saying that like you guys interrupted me. Let me finish. Whoa. She ended up telling the kids that she loved them and that dad was divorcing her because he got a new girlfriend, and drove to the police station and used a weapon on herself. I think you guys can see the picture, in the parking lot while the kids were in school. Oh my God. That's horrible. That's genuinely horrible. The kids have been devastated and blame my brother for Jenny's death. Fully agree. They've been pretty venomous to him, saying they wished he died instead, etc. Oh. Loki, yeah, he's an awful scumbag that cheated on your mom. Yes, I would agree. The girlfriend broke up with him right away after Jenny died. She didn't want to get involved in his family situation. My brother, the audacity. My brother reached out to ask me if I would try to get the kids to fix things with him because I've always had a good relationship with them. I told him that it's literally his fault Jenny died and he shouldn't have cheated on her. Thank you. Clock him. He should have given her some notice about the divorce so she can get a vocational degree. Oh, so he literally sat her down. No, I was right. He literally just sat her down and told her, so she could at least get a vocational degree or at least something sure she had a means of supporting herself. The divorce wasn't the problem. It was the way he went about it that was. Okay, so I was right. No notice at all. Worst nightmare. Because, like, you're left. It's like being left on a stranded island and your significant other is flying away in the helicopter that would have saved you with another person. So she'd have a means of supporting her. Oh, sorry. I told him that I'd be there for the kids, but I don't blame them for hating him. And that I'm not going to try to get them to change their minds because I hate him too and think he's a monster, quite frankly. He was upset and tried to make excuses. He got our mom involved, who always babied him. And she said I'm horrible for saying the things I said. So I guess, am I the posterior? I can't believe you're even asking. And I know you can't believe you're even asking. I can tell. I mean, I gave my commentary throughout the whole story. I am so sorry to those kids. I can't imagine losing either of my parents in any way, shape, or form. I have nightmares about that. That is genuinely one of my worst nightmares. Anyone, like, close to me, so scared of that. So the fact that he is looking for sympathy when he is the monster that caused this in the whole first place is disgusting. And I'm so sorry that you have to go through this and that I'm quadruply sorry that his kids have to go through this. And yeah, that's my final take. I can't believe you're even asking. And I can't believe he's even asking. The audacity of him to even ask, like, some people, man. I hope he dies alone. Would I be the posterior for not telling my mom, for telling my mom I'm not white? Okay, I did skim this one a little bit, and parts of it did stick out to me. So, like, that's why I picked this one, because I'm not mixed, but, like, I do relate to parts of this a little bit. I, 17 female, am mixed between white, my mom, and South Asian, my dad. I'm brown and don't pass for white. I'm a little lighter than my dad, but I'm visually indistinguishable. I'm so sorry. Indistinguishable for a full-blooded person of my dad's ethnicity. In the U.S., most people assume I'm Hispanic. The point is, while I'm 50% white, I do not look nor am I perceived that way. I generally have a great relationship with my mom, but over the years, she said some really uncomfortable things to me that seem to insinuate I should consider myself white. For example, a couple months ago, I said something about how I'm glad the ethnicity questions on school forums have started to let you select more than one options. And she said, you could just choose white, right? I kind of non-committedly said that I won't do that since I'm not white, and she looked kind of confused. I also made a joke about how people assume my dad's country is a region in India where they ask where I'm from, and she says something to the effect that I can tell people I'm American and from America. I do the exact same thing, although my parents are from India. That's true, I was born and raised here, but I feel like that answer is both not what people are looking for when they ask me that, and also makes it seem like my heritage is something I shouldn't talk about. There was also an occasion where my dad and I were completely ignored while shopping at a high-end accessory store, and when we told her about it, so it was believed, so sorry, and said we believe it was because of racial profiling. She seemed confused and like that couldn't be the case since I was there, insinuating that I passed as white and shouldn't have been racially profiled. These instances all occurred far enough apart that I didn't think it was worth fussing about. Lately, we've been talking about ICE. Oh, let me give my opinion on ice really quick. I hate them. I think they're brutal, and I understand I don't want to get too deep into it, but my point is I'm very, very against ice, and even though I am a U.S. citizen, I'm still scared that, like, maybe something will happen, because you never know. Lately we've been talking about ICE. My mom is staunchly against ICE, but when we talk about what ICE does to civilians, she seems to think that he and I are equally vulnerable. Well, ooh, lady, hate to break it to you. As a brown person, especially one who is regularly mistaken for Hispanic, I feel like I'm an easier target. You're fully right. And that the deaths and mistreatment of people like me are the kind of thing that gets swept under the rug. Again, fully right. If ICE were to see me at the mall or go to my school, I would starkly stand out as a target against my classmates. I feel like she thinks I experience life the same way a white person would in America, and especially now, that's just not true. I don't want to alienate my mom or make it seem like being white is something to be ashamed of. I love both halves of my heritage equally, and I don't consider myself one more or the other. Would I be the posterior if I told her she needs to readjust her image of me in her head and that her perception of me being white is not true? Yeah, you're not. You're not in this case. I can see how you would feel like you maybe... Let me just make sure I'm using the right definition of alienate. Yeah, you're definitely, you seem like a very caring and thoughtful person. I totally understand why you would feel that way, but I don't think you should, especially with, like, everything you brought up is a great argument, especially with what you said, about ICE and stuff, and how yes, you definitely would stand out if people are perceiving you as Hispanic, like most often. Yes, you would absolutely stand out as a target, because sadly that is the world we live in, and I wish on everything that it wasn't that way. I'm really worried that this isn't recording and I've just been talking in the air. That would be really embarrassing. But yeah, I don't think you would be the posterior at all, because your mom seems to, I feel like she is not just, your mom seems like a really sweet, nice person, but also I feel like she's not being able to grasp your feelings in relation to stuff like ICE and racial profiling, because she thinks that you are white and experience life like a white person does in America, versus a person, even if you're not, like, especially, like, you're not, but a person who is often perceived as Hispanic is going to experience life pretty differently. Especially in the world we live in. So I definitely think it is important to have that conversation with her so that she is aware of your feelings and she can grasp your feelings and understand you better, and you guys can have a better relationship. I think it'll do the opposite of alienating you. I think she seems like a very good person. And I think she does need to know your standpoint on that, because you also you kind of said, like, non-committally, but, like, I think you do need to sit down, kind of have a conversation with her. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me talking about things like I don't really know much about. But it's okay. Drink some water, get some rest, and have a great day. Thank you for watching.